Jeff Stearns, Connected Through Cars. This episode is part 3 with my good friend SHAWN ARMORER, who's going to get extensively into where the service department comes into the dealership. And this is good if you're not in the business. And also talks about, should you use the dealership for service or use an independent? You might be surprised by his answer to that and a lot more. He's a very, very interesting guy. I'm so happy that he was on the show. Enjoy. I'll see you at the end. There's a very good chance that after paying electricity, giving the salesman whatever the minimum commission is on an ad special car, $100, $200, $300, whatever it is, maybe on a $100,000 car, it's $400, that if you don't buy anything from the guy that you see next in the finance office, they could lose money. I think the average profit on a Toyota Camry right now in the United States is something like $116 negative.
And this is really what separates me from other BDC managers. We're all stuck at home. All right. So it's a new reality for all of us, juggling, running 7 dealerships from my living room, but I'm also a grade 5 teacher to my 10-year-old. Right. So
right.
There's been a tremendous amount of pressure and stress on absolutely everybody. So what I would tell a lot of customers is give us a chance to navigate through this new reality for us. I've just recently been picked up by a fintech company.
Decided to learn the product codes. Now, let me disclose. I was director of operations in a dealership. I never learned the product code or the service codes. Okay. There's a lot for somebody with no particular education in an area in the car business.
My why, as Simon Sinek says, because somebody spent their hard-earned money to have their car washed.
I don't mean sales is everything, service is nothing. I just mean sales people are better than service people.
Jeff Stearns, Connected Through Cars. If they're bigwigs, we'll have them on the show. And yes, we'll talk about cars and everything else. Here he is now, Jeff Stearns.
So I agree with you that there's no margin. And I would even go further and tell the prospective car buyer that if you walk into a dealership and pay sticker for a new car, they're still making less than they were making 25 years ago after negotiating for 5 hours.
Absolutely.
There's 100%. Nothing. What's in a new car now? 7%?
Yeah, maybe. If you're lucky, you're doing about, I don't know, forget F&I products, but I don't know. 7%, yeah. I would have to agree with you.
So, and Sean brought up F&I products. That stands for finance and insurance products. So this would be the dealer making a few dollars for processing your loan or selling you an extended service contract or an insurance policy against tire damage from road hazard or nails in the road.
It's the person you go and see when you're done with the salesperson.
Right. Who might be the only opportunity for the store to make anything. Correct.
Actually, yeah.
Normally now the way the deals are, let me just tell you, public service announcement. Tell me if I'm wrong. If there's a published price or an advertised price and you don't buy any other products in the store, do your loan with them, get your warranty with them, whatever, there's a very good chance that after paying electricity, giving the salesman whatever the minimum commission is on an ad special car, $100, $200, $300, whatever it is, maybe on a $100,000 car, it's $400, that if you don't buy anything from the guy that you see next in the finance office, they could lose money. Right or wrong?
I would have to agree with you.
I think the average profit on a Toyota Camry right now in the United States is something like $116 negative.
Which brings up an excellent point. And I think it should be said. When I first started off in this business, don't forget, those first 7 years, I came up through the service drive. I didn't come up through the sales. This is really what separates me from other BDC managers. I want to be very specific right now. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I really don't. I'm in competition with nobody. I'm in competition with myself, with my yesterday self, at the end of the day. And I don't think I'm better than anybody, but I'm telling you now, I'm definitely different. Because of my perspective coming through the service side, this is my adage. Sales makes customers and the service keeps them. So we're so busy, as I was saying earlier on results, sell. Let's sell as much. But what happened to building relationships like I did with you? What about repeat business? Why are we so focused on the front end and not the back end?
Right.
You're going to come and buy a car. You're going to come and buy a car. It's a transactional event. But then think about it. For the next 4, 5, 6 years, you need to come back to the dealer to service the vehicle. So what are we so afraid of?
Right.
We're often too much, and this is really where COVID has put things into perspective, but often, more times than not, the service aspect of a dealership is irrelevant. We're so focused on hitting those numbers and selling, because there's a lot of pressure that comes down from the manufacturer. Like, let's call a spade a spade. I'm sorry. At the starting of every month, it's not the sales managers that sit down and say, hey, listen, let's sell 100 cars this month. Let's be fair to every single sales manager, salesperson, and whoever the desk manager out there. The targets are set by the manufacturer based on whatever metrics they're using. I don't want to get into it. But at the end of the month or at the starting of a month, metrics come down from the manufacturer and say, listen, this is where we need to be.
Right.
Whereas then the sales manager in turn turns around to his team and they put strategies in place and promos in place or what have you to try as much as possible to get to that metric. However, what about the service aspect? What about the customer service aspect? What about, hey, Jeff's going to be coming to see us twice a year for the next 4 to 5 years, right? So, I mean, that we really need to magnify glass on that aspect of the business. When's the last time you opened up a newspaper? When's the last time you saw an ad for how great my service was?
The listener might be skeptical that why would a dealer do all of this if there's virtually no profit margin in a lot of new cars? And when I say no profit margin, I remember selling Nissans, and I remember the new Versa that was an upper teens or 20-ish window sticker. This is going back, had like under $1,000 margin in the car. And I remember when I was selling Rolls Royce, when the window sticker was $330,000, at full sticker, we made $17,000. So either way, it's disappointing. The customer might be wondering, well, why bother? Well, here's why bother. Sometimes you do make money on a car. Sometimes you do make money on a car when you're a dealer. But really, like Shawn mentioned earlier, there is money to be made on used cars, and still not massive money because the internet has compressed what you can ask for it, because someone's on the lot or someone's looking at your listing. They go to their phone, they look at the other 100 of them for sale within 50 square miles or kilometers. And if you're not within that range, I mean, subject to condition, equipment, colors, whatever, you're out anyway. So you can't ask the world for a used car, but there is more margin in a used car than a new car. But the real thing, to Shawn's point about service, is all of these new and used car sales, as long as you live in the area, are very good for the dealer because they become units in operation for many, many, many years of using the service department. And what Shawn mentioned about the service department making the second sale, he's 100% right. I mean, I can't tell you how many people had a wonderful relationship with the people in our service department and they were ready for their next car and there was no consideration about where they were going next. So at least it didn't turn into a giant battle for the last 25 cents on us versus a competitor, what they'll sell for. They just come in from the service department, say, I want that car, give me a good deal, I'll buy. They're not going to go to 4 other competitors like they may have. And that's thanks to the service department. But I want to ask you a debunking myth. A lot of people go to an independent shop to repair something not in warranty, to do a non-warranty repair, or once the car's out of warranty, or to do maintenance like oil changes and stuff. Do you have any opinion about that?
I do have an opinion. I say do what works. What I mean by that is some people like RC Cola and some people will drink Coca-Cola. So in some cases, yes, the service department at your manufacturer or at your dealership is a bit more expensive. However, no one ever really explained why that is. First of all, the parts that we use on the vehicle are OEM parts or original equipment, right? Absolutely, 100%. However, depending what that part is, the parts in question, from the manufacturer are specifically designed and tested to fit that exact vehicle, whereas your generic part isn't, right? That's number one. Super important. That's why, generally speaking, your generic brakes will squeak and then your original OEM parts won't, right? As a lack of a better example. Number two.
By the way, OEM stands for Original Equipment Manufacturer. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Number two, the corner garage. And this is not to say by any stretch that the corner garage is no good. Absolutely not. However, the technicians or mechanics that we'll find at the dealership are specifically trained for your exact product. The corner garage guy, very good, probably been in the business a very long time, but he knows a little bit about GMs, a little bit about Hondas, a little bit about Toyotas. He may or may not be up to date with the most recent developments of the technology of the vehicle, etc. When you're going to the dealership, the technicians are specifically trained specifically for the product that you're driving. There's a lot to be said about that. Okay. It's kind of like saying, would I rather would I rather let a doctor do mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, or would I let a dentist do it? Like, I'll let whoever I have the greater amount of chances of surviving is going to do it. The dentist is still technically a doctor of sorts, however, not specifically trained for that. So that's definitely two very, very big things. So the parts definitely, and your technicians that are specifically trained. I know that I would want my person to know everything about the car. Secondly, if you're going to the corner garage, are they specifically trained to look for any kind of safety recalls or security, et cetera, et cetera? So there's a lot of reasons that you would go and pay top dollar. Now, listen, don't get me wrong. You could do your little oil changes at the corner garage, but I strongly recommend that at least once a year, you bring the car to the garage and let them do a thorough inspection. Based on
the dealership.
Correct. Absolutely. 100%.
Well, I agree with you on that. I get all of even my oil changes done on my own car at the dealer, which could be slightly less convenient than the 15-minute oil change place, although they've got it down pretty good. Usually I'm in and out of there in an hour, which is fabulous for a car dealership. But when I take my car in just for an oil change or just for a tire rotation or something, they're still plugging it in, and they can tell me recalls, and they can tell me, updates from the manufacturer that can be done through computer. Yeah.
Yeah. And let's not forget, your updates doesn't always just mean, because unfortunately a lot of customers, a lot of people that are not in the car business, what we mean by updates is not just, hey, my check engine light is on, what's the diagnostic? There's improvement campaigns, right? It's not always a recall or a safety campaign. There's what we call improvement campaigns. Now, if we talk about gas mileage is not only, well, am I idling at 3,000 RPMs when I'm on the highway? It also depends on how your car's computer is programmed, right? We could go on and on and on and on, but these are very, very important elements that we have to consider. So again, can you go to the corner garage? Absolutely. Would I recommend going to your dealership once a year? Absolutely. So just a balance of both. Right now, we were talking a little bit about digital marketing. We were talking about, going to your corner garage. We were talking about a lot of stuff, BDC, how things work. So let's not forget that during this COVID, it's messed up. People have lost jobs. People have lost family members. We're all at home. We're all stuck at home. All right. So it's a new reality for all of us, juggling, running 7 dealerships from my living room, but I'm also a grade 5 teacher to my 10-year-old, right? So
right.
There's been a tremendous amount of pressure and stress on absolutely everybody. So what I would tell a lot of customers is, give us a chance to navigate through this new reality for us. Never before in history in the car world, I'm not sure about how it is, but here in Montreal or Quebec or Canada, that is, we're not allowed to have anybody at the dealership at all. Everything for the last 7 weeks has been online. Everything. The entire buying process has been done online. So it's all new for us right now, right? And we are pivoting. We are making changes, some faster than others, some none at all. They're suffering from what I call the hubris syndrome, right? They're all like, no, this will pass. This is not going to pass. Right. So just be patient with us and let's grow together and understand that this is also a very new reality for us as well at the dealership. And we're figuring things out as we go along. There's no book on this new normal. And, like I said, we're figuring this out as we're navigating through this COVID situation.
Well put. And I don't know if it's appropriate to talk about here, or you're ready to talk about it, or if the news is out, but can you talk about your new career, your new business?
Yeah, well, I guess by the time this comes out, it'll be okay. So yeah, I've recently had this amazing opportunity. I mean, unfortunately, I hate to talk about it because so many people have been affected negatively by this COVID situation. However, in my particular case, it's presented me with a lot of opportunities. The first opportunity is never before in history have I ever stayed home 24/7 with my son for 7 weeks. So it's given me an opportunity to rebond with him, something that I haven't necessarily had the opportunity to do. And number two, it's presented me with the ability to join you on this show and educate people as much as I can. So I love being of service. And number three, it's presented me with my newest career opportunity where I've just recently been picked up by a fintech company, and I am a shareholder, and I am going to be involved heavily in the business development as well as product development.
Well, Shawn, you deserve all the success you've got coming your way. This
Appreciate it.
Finance technology company grabbing this kid who started as a car washer.
Yeah, man.
Went into service, decided to learn the product codes. Now, let me disclose, I was director of operations in a dealership. I never learned the product code or the service codes. Okay. So, and I mean, really what you've done is amazing.
I appreciate that.
And it really also shows from a success standpoint, for those of you not in the business at all and you're trying to figure out your career path, there's a lot for somebody with no particular education in an area in the car business. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all about, like I was saying before, take your time with it. It's a beautiful industry if you know where you're going, but you got to work hard. You got to put in the hours, and you have to know. I didn't go into this because it was the car industry, right? Whereas everybody's journey is different. For mine specifically, it was about two things. I mean, listen to my story, and you can't lie about this. Number one was work ethic. What did I tell you? I came in as a car washer. First things first, there's a lot to be said about a car washer that shows up to an interview in a suit and tie. Okay, that's number one. Let's call a spade a spade. Number two, I came in with the mentality of I am going to wash the shit out of this car as best I can. And number three, why? So that's my work ethic. And number three, my why, as Simon Sinek says, because somebody spent their hard-earned money to have their car washed. I don't care if it's $20. I don't care if it's $30. Somebody trusted me with their vehicle to make it look good. And that over time has precipitated me into being a customer-centric expert. And when I'm on the phone with somebody, never does it have anything to do about the sale and results. Is that what ultimately we want the end result to be? Of course. Like you said, sales is everything, service is nothing, right, Jeff? However, because I've been so customer focused.
I want to make sure it comes out right. I don't mean sales is everything, service is nothing. I just mean sales people are better than service people. All right, continue.
I know. Of course they are. Yeah. And then every month you're as good as your last month, right?
That's right. Thank God for editing.
So because I come from a customer-centric background, when I'm on the phone, I'm able to deliver and I'm able to illustrate that with my customers because I'm not governed and I'm not driven by results. I'm governed and I'm driven by offering the best service possible, which will produce the results that we're looking for.
Passion comes through in everything you do, brother.
Well, I appreciate that, my man. And I can't thank you enough for this opportunity. And it's been an absolute pleasure and honor to working with you and all the people at Car Chat 24. I hope they see this. I mean, you guys, like I said, are offering me the same level of service that I offer my customers. And we've grown together. We've grown together, and you guys have taught me a lot.
This has been Jeff Stearns, Connected Through Cars.